Dawn in Nha Trang was red like fire. The flat sea had only the roaring sound of diesel engines, of 20 foreign fishing boats trawling close to the bottom, destroying coral reefs exactly 30 nautical miles from shore. Cam Ranh Fisheries Surveillance Radar shrieked a red alert. Just 15 seconds later, 8 Vietnamese high-speed patrol boats rushed in from 2 directions like a school of sharks. The red flag with yellow star fluttered in the early wind. Loudspeakers rang out simultaneously in 3 languages. Stop the ship immediately. This is Vietnam's exclusive economic zone. High-pressure water cannons sprayed salty seawater straight into the cabin and deck of the first ship. White water shot higher than the mast, sweeping nets and fishing gear into the sea. Responding immediately, foreign sailors on 10 ships simultaneously threw homemade fire bottles onto the decks of Vietnamese patrol boats. Glass bottles shattered, spilled gasoline flared red on the hot steel floor. One patrol boat was licked by fire close to the side. Vietnamese sailors pulled fire extinguishers, spraying white foam. The sizzling sound drowned out the engine noise. At the same time, the remaining 6 ships of the foreign group increased full throttle, trying to break circle towards the southeast. Vietnamese patrol boats immediately split in 2. 4 ships pressed close from 2 sides, bow touching side, sparking long metal fire. The sound of twisting steel creaking echoed amidst the dawn sea. A foreign sailor holding a hot water pipe rushed out of the cabin, spraying boiling water straight into the face of the nearest patrol boat crew. A scream rang out, then the sound of an electric baton zapping blue fire. In just the first 10 minutes, the encirclement tightened. 20 foreign ships were forced into a semicircle, leaving no escape route. Nha Trang sea surface was now bright with Molotov firelight and whitewater cannon light, command loudspeaker sounds, engine roar sounds, and metal collision sounds blended into a chaotic symphony amidst the red dawn. The sun had risen high. The sea surface sparkled like a mirror but burned with the smell of burnt gasoline. From the southern horizon, 2 Vietnamese missile frigates from Cam Ranh rushed in. At a speed of 40 knots, cutting across the bow of the foreign fleet just 500 meters away. Bow waves threw up white foam over 10 meters high, forcing the foreign fleet to decelerate abruptly. 3 maritime patrol helicopters appeared simultaneously overhead, rotors blowing away the remaining smoke and fire from the Molotov cocktails. One flew low close to the water surface, dropping a fast rope onto the deck of the first ship of the foreign group. 8 fisheries surveillance special forces in black gear, wearing gas masks, landed in the blink of an eye. The sound of rope tightening, the sound of iron-studded boots striking the steel floor rang out dryly. More than 30 foreign sailors rushed out of the cabin, holding crowbars, daggers, and hot water pipes. Close quarters combat erupted right on the tilting deck. The sound of metal clashing, the sound of electric batons zapping blue, screams mixed with the sound of helicopter rotors. A Vietnamese Special Forces soldier was hit on the shoulder by a crowbar, but immediately retaliated with a kick to the stomach, knocking the opponent backwards. Red blood spread on the hot steel floor. At the same time, the second missile frigate pressed close to the left side of the foreign fleet. Superpressure water cannon sprayed straight into the third ship's cabin. Glass shattered, salt water flooded the engine room, causing the engine to die out. Panic-stricken foreign sailors jumped into the sea, swimming amidst the oil slick and torn nets. The second helicopter dropped 16 more special forces onto 3 other ships at the same time. The loudspeaker from the helicopter sounded coldly. "Drop your weapons, hands up," but received only swear words in return, and more fire bottles thrown back into the air. One bottle hit the tail rotor, fire licked close to the helicopter fuselage. The pilot pulled up sharply to avoid the red flame. In just 15 minutes, 5 foreign ships were completely controlled. Vietnamese special forces used handcuffs to lock foreign sailors' hands, forcing them to lie face down on the scorching deck. The smell of blood, gasoline, and salt water mingled under the harsh Nha Trang sun. The encirclement tightened further, and the chaotic battle had not yet stopped. The midday sun was blindingly harsh. The Nha Trang sea surface was like a scorching hot glass plate. The remaining 15 foreign ships accelerated, full throttle, rushing east, bows throwing up white waves over 15 meters high. Vietnamese patrol boats immediately used their hulls to press close from both sides. The sound of thick steel colliding sparked fire meters long. Metal shrieked, creaking like tearing cloth. The largest foreign ship tried to ram straight into the starboard side of the lead patrol boat. The foreign ship's bow broke in two. Immediately, water rushed through a tear longer than 20 meters. Pitch-black diesel oil spread widely. A pungent smell rose under the scorching sun. Panic-stricken foreign sailors jumped into the sea, swimming amidst the thick oil layer. Water cannons from 6 patrol boats simultaneously sprayed straight into the foreign fleet's cabins. High-pressure water smashed the windshields, flooding the cockpit, causing the steering wheel to jam. Foreign sailors rushed to the deck, holding crowbars and long knives, rushing into hand-to-hand combat with the fisheries surveillance team that just jumped over. The sound of metal hitting flesh rang out dryly. Red blood dripped onto the scorching steel floor. At the same time, the third armed helicopter circled high above, firing a volley of red flares close to the side of the fleeing foreign ship. The flares exploded into small fire clusters right in front of the bow, forcing them to turn sharply to avoid. One foreign ship turned too hard, crashing heavily into the ship next to it. 2 hulls stuck together hard like dead lovers. Within 8 minutes, 4 more foreign ships were forced to stand still in the middle of the sea. Sailors lay flat on the deck, under fisheries surveillance guns, hands raised high, faces covered in oil and blood. The sea surface was now mottled with black oil. Torn nets and broken glass shards floated everywhere. The encirclement had tightened so much there was not a single gap left. Amidst the harsh Nha Trang sun, amidst the tightened encirclement, the sea surface suddenly vibrated slightly, as if there was a small earthquake. From a depth of 30 meters, the Vietnamese Kilo submarine silently surfaced right in the middle of the foreign fleet. The shiny black conning tower broke the water standing vertically. White water crashed down like a waterfall. High-power warning sonar activated continuously. The dull ping sound echoed underwater, causing foreign sailors to panic and look around. The largest foreign ship tried frantically to ram straight into the nearest patrol boat to open a bloody path. The steel bow, weighing thousands of tons, crashed into the starboard side of the fisheries surveillance ship. The sound of twisting steel creaking continuously was terrifying. The patrol boat's side dented deeper than a meter. Water flooded into the engine room. But the foreign ship also paid the price. The bow broke in two. The front compartment flooded completely. Diesel oil erupted pitch black. At the same time, the submarine's loudspeaker turned on at maximum power. Stop all engines. This is Vietnam's sea territory. The echoing sound drowned out both engine noise and wave sounds. Foreign sailors on 10 ships simultaneously let go of the wheel, faces pale, looking at the black monster, just appeared in the middle of the encirclement. The second armed helicopter dived low just 10 meters above the water, fired a warning rocket, right in front of the bow of the last foreign ship trying to flee. The rocket exploded just 5 meters from the bow. A water column over 20 meters high stood vertically. The shockwave shook the ship's hull violently. Foreign sailors on deck fell over. Some jumped straight into the oil spill sea. Within just 3 minutes after the submarine surfaced, all 20 foreign ships had shut down engines and stood dead in the sea. Engines silent, only the sound of waves lapping against the ship's side. And the submarine's sonar sounds still steady, ping, ping, like the heartbeat of the ruler of the sea. The Nha Trang sea surface now completely belonged to the red flag with yellow star. The harsh midday sun made the sea surface sparkle like daggers. 3 armed Vietnamese helicopters descended simultaneously to just 20 meters above the water surface, rotors blowing the oil slick into black and red swirls. Loudspeakers on the helicopters turned on to maximum. Hands up, surrender. Anyone resisting will be shot. From the belly bay, series of red flares and warning rockets were fired close to the sides of 5 foreign ships, still hesitating. Each rocket exploded just 3 meters from the hull. White water columns rose higher than the masts. Shockwaves knocked foreign sailors flat on the scorching deck. A third rocket hit the antenna mast of the lead ship. The mast broke in two and crashed down, dragging electrical wires, sparking blue and red fire. At the same time, 12 Special Forces speedboats rushed out from the frigate like a swarm of bees, surrounding each ship one by one. Special Forces in black gear, wearing anti-glare glasses, submachine guns at the ready, jumped onto the deck in a flash. Foreign sailors on 7 ships knelt down simultaneously, hands raised high, faces down on the scorching steel floor. The remaining ones tried to run into the cabin, but were knocked down by electric batons. Blue zaps and screams rang out amidst the harsh sun. In just 4 minutes, over 300 foreign sailors lay face down on the decks of 18 ships, hands handcuffed behind their backs. The last 2 ships tried to throttle up one last time, but the armed helicopter immediately fired a rocket, blocking right in front of the bow. A water column rose like a wall, forcing them to stop urgently. Rudders screeched loudly. The Nha sea surface was now terrifyingly silent. Only the sound of helicopter rotors, the sound of waves gently lapping against the ship's side, and the panting of hundreds of people just subdued under the scorching sun. White tear gas smoke covered the entire fleet of 20 ships, like a toxic cloud in the middle of the ocean. 12 Vietnamese Special Forces speedboats pressed close simultaneously. Iron hooks thrown onto the deck clanged continuously. 80 Special Forces soldiers split into 12 teams, jumping over at the same time like a pack of Black Panthers. Loudspeakers from helicopters overhead rang out in 3 languages continuously. Lie down, hands behind your head. Catching nets shot out from compressed air guns, tightly wrapping those still trying to run into the cabin. The sound of nets tightening on flesh, electric batons zapping blue. The clicking sound of handcuffs rang out steadily like a drumbeat. Special Forces Team 1 rushed into the lead ship's cabin. Tear gas grenades thrown first, stun grenades thrown after. The cockpit flooded with white smoke. Foreign sailors, coughing violently, rushed out, then were pinned to the floor, faces pressed into the hot oil layer. Just 15 seconds, all 12 main ships were completely controlled. The last team jumped onto the 20th ship. The remaining sailors were already kneeling, hands raised high, mouths stuttering pleas for mercy. The Special Forces said not a word, only used knees to press down on backs, handcuffed them, hold them up to line up on the deck. In just 6 minutes, all over 500 foreign sailors were handcuffed, lying in long rows on the decks of 20 ships. Under the 40-degree harsh sun, the smell of tear gas, diesel oil, and sweat blended pungently. No more sounds of resistance, no more engine sounds, only the clicking of handcuffs and the sound of helicopters circling overhead like a god of victory. The afternoon sun in Nha Trang was golden, like pouring fire, onto the oil-slick sea surface. 4 large military tugboats from Cameron quietly entered the encirclement. 18mm thick steel cables were dropped into the water with a boom-boom sound. The iron cable head, weighing hundreds of kilos, hooked firmly onto the anchor bollard of each foreign ship. The sound of metal tightening rang out dryly. The tugboat's main engine roared. Black smoke spewed from the exhaust. 20 foreign ships were towed in a long line, like a wobbly flock of ducks, bows pointing towards the mainland. More than 500 foreign sailors were handcuffed in pairs, lined up in 5 straight rows on the deck, heads bowed low under the burning sun. Everyone's face was blackened by oil and tear gas, eyes red, lips cracked. A maritime patrol helicopter circled low, above the towed convoy. The lens filmed close-ups of every face, every ship number. Images broadcast live. to the Cam Ranh command center screens and regional fisheries surveillance channels. The loudspeaker voice from the helicopter remains steady. This is Vietnam's exclusive economic zone. All acts of violation will be strictly punished. Cables tightened, water splashed white behind the stern of the towed convoy. The oldest foreign ship screeched creakingly, the hull tilted sharply. Because of the excessive towing force, water flooded over the side, but it was still dragged along mercilessly. Foreign sailors, no one dared to raise their head, only the clinking sound of chains, following the rhythm of the waves, and the roar of the tug engine, dragging the guilty fleet towards the mainland. Twilight began to fall. The sea surface was red, like blood. 20 foreign ships were towed in a long line, longer than 3 nautical miles. The red flag with yellow star on the tugboat fluttered in front, leading the whole group back to Cam Ranh military port, in the heavy silence of the defeated. Sunset faded gradually. The Nha Trang sea surface turned deep purple. 12 fixed-wing drones from Tan Son Nhat base flew in large circles over the towed convoy, red flashlights blinking steadily, lenses filming close-ups of each ship, each handcuffed foreign sailor's face, each peeling white painted hull number. Images broadcast live on the large screen at the Coast Guard Command Center in Hanoi, and simultaneously transmitted straight to neighboring countries via the Common Fisheries Surveillance Channel. The commentator's voice was steady. This is vivid proof of illegal exploitation activities in Vietnam's exclusive economic zone. On the water, 2 special forces speedboats quietly cut across the tail of the convoy, boxing in the last 2 foreign ships, still trying to slip out during the chaos. The speedboat bow was less than 3 meters from the foreign ship's side. Waves splashed white. Loudspeakers on the speedboat turned on to max IMO. Stop or be rammed. The 2 foreign ships immediately shut down engines and stopped dead. Sailors knelt flat on the deck, hands still raised high even though handcuffed. The last maritime patrol helicopter flew low along the line of ships, dropping bundles of red ropes tied to the mast of each ship, then hoisted the red flag with yellow star to the top. 20 flags fluttered violently on 20 guilty ship hulls, glowing red under the white searchlights. Projected from the frigates, the towed convoy was now a long, obedient line. No more engine sounds, no more sounds of resistance, only the sound of cables tightening, and the sound of waves lapping steadily against the ship hulls that had completely submitted amidst the Nha Trang night sea. The night in Nha Trang had a cool south wind. Cam Ranh military port was bright with white floodlights like day. 20 foreign ships were towed into precise anchor lines one by one, bows facing the sea, sterns pressed close to the concrete pier. The heavy anchor cable drop sound rang out, rumble, rumble, then went silent. The missile frigate with the largest hull number anchored on the outermost side, main gun lowered, barrel pointing straight at the bay mouth like a final warning. A blue flare was fired high up, exploding into a brilliant green light cluster amidst the night sky, illuminating the entire captured fleet, and hundreds of foreign sailors standing in lines on deck. The Vietnam Coast Guard Honor Guard, lined up in 2 long rows along the pier, submachine guns slung over shoulders, black boots shining under the lights. The loudspeaker voice from the command tower rang out coldly, ending the campaign to protect sovereignty of the exclusive economic zone. 20 violating ships have been completely controlled. The last Special Forces soldier jumped from the foreign ship to the pier, dragging a long chain connecting over 500 hair-cuffed foreign sailors. They walked silently under the blinding white floodlights, shadows cast long on the warm concrete surface. Not a single curse word, not a single cry. Only the clinking sound of iron chains, and the sound of waves gently lapping against the ship's side. In the sky, the last maritime patrol helicopter circled one large round, dropping thousands of leaflets, falling like white rain onto the bay surface. The East Sea belongs to Vietnam. The red flag with yellow star on the command tower roof flew highest, glowing red, amidst the Nha Trang night that was completely silent. The day's final sunset dyed Cameron Bay red, the sea surface was calm, like a blue steel sheet. 20 foreign ships anchored in 5 straight lines, masts tightly tied with red flags, with yellow stars, flying steadily in the south wind. More than 500 foreign sailors were escorted down to the pier, lined up in 10 long rows under the remaining afternoon sun, hands still pair-cuffed, heads bowed low. The Coast Guard Honor Guard stood at attention on both sides. Ceremonial salute guns raised simultaneously. The bugle call rang out solemnly amidst the military port. The largest flag was hoisted to the top of the highest pole, bright red under the sunset light, covering the entire violating fleet behind. From the command tower, the commander-in-chief's voice echoed through loudspeakers across the bay. The campaign to protect sovereignty of Nha Trang Exclusive Economic Zone ends at 18 hours. No loss of life on our side. 20 violating ships, along with the entire crew, have been legally arrested. Live TV cameras pan slowly along the line of ships, along the line of people, along the flying red flags. Images broadcast nationwide and regionally. No sound other than waves lapping steadily against the concrete wharf and the flapping of flags. The sun set completely behind the mountain range. Darkness fell quickly. Military port floodlights turned on bright white, clearly illuminating each bowed face of the violators, and each red flag with yellow star flying proudly. The East Sea was completely silent again, only the sound of gentle waves and the whistle of a new patrol boat starting the night shift remained.